Okay, reviews. Two Marvel comic movies that I think should have made it to the worst comic book movies ever made. Fantastic Four 1, starring Ian McCloud as, I believe that was his name, as Reed Richards, Chris Evans as the Torch, Jessica Alba as Susan Storm, Michael Chiklis as Ben Grimm, and Julie McMahon as Dr. Doom. What was wrong with this movie? The Fantastic Four is probably one of the greatest stories Marvel ever told, and deserves a movie that fits it. And a long time ago, Roger Corman did a movie that went straight to VHS, and that was a terrible film. Don't even want to look at that. And then this movie comes out, definitely much better. I'll agree, definitely much better than that Roger Corman film. Crap. But did it hit the bullseye? No. It did not hit the bullseye. Half of the movie is boring, and half of the movie is great. The cast is great. The cast is great. I think the cast was all great picks. I mean, Ian McCloud fits perfectly as Reed Richards. Even he has a look and everything. And Chris Evans did a wonderful job as the Torch. You have Julie McMahon. Oh man, who could play Dr. Doom any better? Julie McMahon. I'm a big fan of the TV series Charmed. And I like Nip Tuck, and when I heard that this guy was playing Dr. Doom, it's like, oh, perfect! I can't think of anybody better. And you got Michael Chiklis from the Commish and the Shield playing Ben Grimm. Perfect. Again, hit the mark. Jessica Alba as Susan Storm. I wasn't too keen on her playing Susan Storm. I didn't know if she could do the part. Not because of her acting ability. I believe she could hit the mark with her acting ability. It's her look. She does not look like Susan Storm because I'm used to how she looks in Dark Angel. And I didn't know if she could actually pull it off. But once she dyed her hair blonde, and once she got the chemistry right with Chris Evans, because they had to make me believe that they were brother and sister. I actually started to believe that they were brother and sister. You know, they have the sibling rivalry just about right, and the way siblings should act. So yeah, I was very shocked that I actually liked all the cast picks. What I didn't like was the script. Parts of the script I did like were the origin of the Fantastic Four. You get the Fantastic Four on a space station, and you get Dr. Doom on a space station too, and he give him powers as well as the other four members. He has the Fantastic Four powers that way, and that's a pretty good idea. And then you have, I liked how they portrayed Ben Grimm coping with his hard rock look, because that was right straight from the comic, and that was perfect. I liked the one scene where you had the Torch playing a joke on Ben Grimm, because that's right straight from the comic. I like that a lot. I liked the evolution of Victor Von Doom into Dr. Doom, how he's coping with his powers. That was very cool. And it kind of made his story a little bit better, because the origin of his origin in the comic book is too boring. Oh, I like this origin better in the movie. The parts I like the fight scene. I like the scene where they save everybody's life on the bridge. But the parts that are boring really were somewhat the the Torch showing off his powers and not really caring about the responsibility of the powers. I didn't really care for that, and I didn't really care, even though that's much to his personality in the comic. I didn't really find that all interesting. I found it more annoying. And I didn't really care for the family way of how they were coping with their powers, being all cooped up in the Baxter building. That I didn't like. And I was very disappointed that Miss Baxter, the landlord of the building, is not in the movie. I guess they didn't know how they could fit her into the story. Maybe so that's why they didn't bother to write her in. And I kind of disappointed, because Miss Baxter, this snobbish, annoying woman, is kind of important to the story as much as J. Jonah Jameson is important to Spider-Man. So I mean, it's kind of lacking a little bit. So they try to put the high bills that Reed Richards is trying to pay off to live in the Baxter building as a substitute. Alright, I guess. And finally, we got the climax. The climax was great, where you got the 4 battling Doctor Doom. That was great. So, overall, I have to give this 3 stars. It didn't hit the mark totally, but it hit some marks. And that was pretty good. Okay. We'll talk about Fantastic Four 2 and what were the problems with that film in a moment.